everybody. Welcome to our first Thursday Chit Chat episode of 2026.
This is a year we all get hotter and smarter. So this is the GlowJob guide on how to get hot and smart in 2026.
And we're going to get into how we actually set goals and get stuff done.
Welcome to GlowJob, the beauty podcast that's more than skin deep. We're the only podcast to make you hotter and smarter.
Because basically everybody wants a better life, but this is the foolproof way to do it without delusion and with real execution. And just for a little proof, let's share some things that we were actually able to accomplish in the last year. But GlowJob was in the top 1% of new podcasts all across Spotify, the top 10% of video podcasts, and we grew our community from literally zero. So we're here to give you concrete examples.
So let's define what exactly is hotter and smarter, aka your best self in 2026.
So being hotter is all about looks, confidence, and aura.
And smarter is about systems, strategies, self-awareness, and discipline.
So the way we want to think about it is being hotter is the outcome, but being smarter is the engine that's actually going to make all of this happen.
And also, you guys, it's the year of the horse, but not just any horse, the fire horse.
And this is all about big energy, bold moves, and really fast changes. And this is just the perfect momentum that we're all going to need to make this the best year yet. So I guess let's just start off with like aesthetic goals, because as much as we want to be like, oh, looks don't matter, they obviously kind of do. But one of the biggest things I'm going to be working on this year is really just getting into the mindset that I want to have a baby.
Aww.
And I know, and for a lot of it, like the aesthetic portion is really terrifying to me. So I want to shift my mindset and get into a place where I am okay and open and accepting of all of the physical changes, whether that's like pregnancy, weight gain. Oh my gosh, have you seen pregnancy nose on TikTok?
Girl, I saw it and it terrified me.
Yes. So I'm getting into the mindset that any of these aesthetic shifts are going to be okay by me.
That's a healthy way to frame it, because our bodies are changing constantly. Like, my body's different than it was 10 years ago, but like, you have to kind of love it. Otherwise your life is miserable.
Exactly. So even though it's aesthetic, to me, it's going to be a mindset shift for how I go into this new year. What about you, Sas?
So for like aesthetics, it's more fitness for me right now. I've been really getting back into like my workout routine, which is
Girl,
really
you
good.
have.
Yeah, it's fun. So my biggest goal is to get back to my 650 mile PR time. I know. It's a very specific number, but like when I used to run track, I used to be fast. And then I noticed myself a couple months ago when I was running and I'm like, girl, you are so damn slow now. What happened? So yeah, getting back to my 650 mile PR, I've been reprogramming like my workout schedule. And honestly, I want to get fast again without burning out, because that's the hardest part. So like literally plug and play in terms of like my weekly routine. I do one lower body day, one upper body day, 2 cardio days, one like slow endurance cardio day, and then one that's just like all speed. And I feel like if I do it that way, then I can actually achieve the goal.
All right. So you are setting an official framework for your fitness and aesthetics this year.
Yes. Julia, what about GlowJob goals?
I feel like we have so many coming up.
I know.
But when I think about all of the possibilities and just all the things possible with GlowJob, some of the things I want to do, speak on a panel.
Yes.
I really want to do like a solid, sexy brand collab, really work on like landing our first celeb interview. So many things, but I'm sure you have some to add to that, right?
Oh my gosh. Celebrity interview is top for me. I feel like we just have so much fun together. Of course, we're going to have fun with another guest. And then honestly, I think that your goals on GlowJob are the same as my goals on GlowJob. Definitely a brand collab. I could see that on the horizon.
And then just community growth overall, right? Like we're going to be hosting a new events, anything where we can just kind of like meet people in person, because that's also really fun.
Definitely. I think another one to tack on there, speaking of community, is doing like a community-oriented event this year. Maybe like Q3, Q4?
Let's do it.
How about the soft but important stuff, relationship goals?
Aw. Okay. Well, relationship goals, I guess this also ties back into like family planning and really just focusing on that for the year of 2026. But I just want to get in the best, healthiest place possible with my husband right now, because with all of these changes coming and family planning and having a baby, like I just want to be as strong as possible. So focusing on that. And what about you, my sassy single Sasa?
So I have some dating goals for myself. I feel like I want to treat dating like any other part of my life. So it's like fun, intentional, and keeping track of everything that's going on. So for me, that means like evaluating who's adding value, who's not, and where I'm wasting my time. But also, I just want to keep meeting people. Like this is the year that I want to meet all the humans, friends, dates, everyone, because it's just fun.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Julie, what about like real systems or like specific tools or apps or whatever that you're using to track your goals?
I know this sounds a little woo-woo, but I am going to start incorporating full-blown Feng Shui into my life this year.
Yes, I am so into this.
Yes, I want to open all of the energy channels and the possibilities. So I'm going to rearrange my house. I'm going to rearrange my closet. And the reason why I got so into Feng Shui is actually a story that I learned about Paula Abdul.
No way, really?
Yeah. So, I mean, we all know and love Paula Abdul from like American Idol, right? But earlier, before American Idol, she had been this big pop star. She started off as a Laker girl and then was like a pop star. And then her career got super stagnant and she was kind of stuck. She couldn't really book any jobs. She was just almost like a washed up pop star. And then she decided to incorporate Feng Shui into her life.
No way.
And so, so at first it was very simple. Rearranging your house. But doing those things cumulatively kind of open up your mindset to welcome in all of this new energy, not just in the flow of your physical space, but also like the energy that you put out to others and what you want, whether career-wise, love-wise, relationship-wise, to enter into your life. So that's what I'm doing.
You know, when I moved into this place, when I was setting up my bedroom, I called my mom and I was like, what's the proper feng shui for the bed frame to fit because there's all about energy flow. Like you're not supposed to have, when you're in bed, like you're not supposed to see the door directly. Yes. That's bad energy. What else? You're not supposed to have a mirror in front of your bed.
No.
You guys, that's a big one. A lot of people I know have mirrors in front of their bed. It's bad energy. But yeah, there's a lot of things. It really works.
Yeah. And also, you guys, if you are in a place where you might look up feng shui and it doesn't, like it physically cannot work in your space. Let's say you like live in a little apartment or a studio and you're just really, really confined to what your room looks like. There are workarounds.
Yes.
Which I'm starting to learn about because I'm Googling all this stuff. But it's as simple as like strategic placement of things like plants, right? And that can like redirect the energy. So yeah, I'm going to spend a little time and really just make sure that I can do it the right way.
I love it.
And what about you? What are your real systems this year?
Calendar.
Shocker.
Yeah, I know. The calendar is like my second brain. If it's not on my calendar, I don't think I'm going to get to it. For me, everything needs to be structured so that my brain can go on autopilot and it gives me space to actually like think about the things that really matter, which is why like my gym workout, like I have dedicated days where it's just like, I know what the workout's going to be. I'm not going to waste time thinking about like, oh, what am I going to do today? I just do it. And then same with like in my personal life or in my financial life, like I have set up auto investing. I set up auto transfers. I don't want to think about these things. I just want them to be done so I have more space in my brain.
That is such a good thing to do. And we'll get into this a little bit more throughout the episode of like exactly how to use a calendar, exactly how to do auto investing. But one of the things that I love the most about creating calendars is once it's on your calendar and let's say you want to be a little reflective, you want to check back on like, oh, how is the year actually going?
Yeah.
You just look at your freaking calendar. All the proof is there, right? Like, if you schedule your gym time, you can look back and be like, okay, yeah, I did go to the gym X amount of times this month.
That's such a good point. It's like a diary.
Yes.
Yeah. So we talked about our personal goals, but let's talk about how we can actually set goals and achieve them in real life.
So what is a goal? It's very simple. A goal is 3 things. So a goal is clearly defined, it's measurable, and it's timely. And we're taking off the third one for you because we're just going to make it really easy. The time frame is a year, right? It's going to be 2026. So when it comes to things being measurable as well-defined, I'll give you an example. So let's say you have a goal of you want to get more fit or you want to grow your podcast. That is vague. And we don't want to do that. If you want your goal to really happen, it has to be extremely specific. So when it comes to fitness, I love Sasa's example of like, I want to hit a very specific PR time on my mile. Or it can be like, I want to run 2 miles without having to take a break. That is a very specific goal. And when it comes to things like growing a podcast or any kind of project you're working on, you got to add a number to it. So I want to grow my podcast by 10,000 followers or whatever that may be. You just have to assign a number or something measurable to it.
So once you've got the goal, now it's time to reverse engineer it, because the key to making anything attainable is breaking it down into smaller steps, smaller goals that you can reach over time. And we have the GlowJob method: a daily move, a weekly move, a quarterly checkpoint, and annual proof.
And really, to make this all happen, you just got to build that accountability system. We talked about some of the real systems that we're doing, but whether it's a person you're checking up with, a calendar, apps, anything to track it, you have to make sure that you're set up for success and that you have a little accountability in place.
One of my favorite things about us, and there are many favorite things, but is the fact that you and I, we're doing this together. So like when it comes to GlowJob stuff, like if I forget something, I know you'll remember it. If you forget something, I know I'll remember it. And we're constantly accountable to each other. So like you guys, if you have a friend out there who has similar goals to you, or even if they're not the same goals, like you just both have goals, go to a partner, go to your best friend, make them your accountability partner.
Exactly. And now let's get into how to get hotter in 2026. We're talking physical glow up. And honestly, we're going to start here because it's actually easier focusing on aesthetics than other things, but let's get into it.
So here are 3 things that can move the needle immediately. Number 1, drink more water. We are all not drinking enough water. That is a fact. 2, get enough sleep. And I'm saying at least 7 hours, at least every night. And 3, get your ass ready for work. That means picking an outfit, putting on some makeup, doing your hair, and doing this every single day before you go to work. Even if you're working from home, ladies.
You know, we have shared before on the podcast that women that actually get ready for work earn 20% more than women who don't. We don't make the rules. We are just sharing this information. But honestly, I know we both have seen a lot of value because I know we put the effort in when it comes to getting ready. So we know what it means.
Oh, for sure. And it's really not even just about like how you look. It's about how you feel. Personally, for me, when like my face looks good, my hair looks good, and my outfit looks good, I can run shit. I can like walk through walls. It's amazing.
Exactly. Like it gives you the confidence. So like, let's say worst case scenario, you're in the office, you're having a tiff with a coworker. If you look good, you're going to be able to handle your own business. And now we'll go into 3 longer term commitments. But the first one, very important. You're actually going to see your doctor, your dentist, your therapist. You're going to get your health in check, whether that's physical, fertility, check your prescription dosages, everything there. You're going to move 4 times a week. I think that's like a reasonable amount. And for example, like Sasa has these crazy fitness goals. So she is going to have her own regimen. But my whole mindset this year is getting ready for a baby. So am I going to be trying to run a 6-minute mile? No, but I am going to move my body because I know that there's like that mind-body connection. And lastly is that seasonal closet purge. I know it's hard to do, but again, we're thinking Feng Shui, what actually brings value into our lives, letting things go so we can let things in. Let's make it happen.
So everything we just talked about are goals that are doable, they're attainable, and they actually work. But now we're going to talk about some of the goals and like fads that people think are going to change their physical appearance, but actually don't matter at all.
I know. And we always see these on people's like New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
And, you know, I hate to break the bubble, but you guys need to know the truth. So first and foremost, fad diets. We are not doing any fad diets this year. This can be things like intermittent fasting, keto, all of those things. No, we're just going to drink water and eat a balanced diet.
Another one is investing in an entirely brand new skincare routine, AKA like becoming a Sephora Rouge VIP member. No. You do not need to spend all that money just to look better.
And lastly, and this is a hot take, but phones before bed does not matter. Studies have now proven that blue light has no effect on our sleep. So if you actually do enjoy a little happy scrolling before bed, just go for it. And now let's go into actually how you can amp up your style and just kind of outward presentation this year.
This is the year that you learn how to create a uniform for work, going out, and date night. You pick a personal brand or look that makes it easy for you to pick and choose outfits so you're not wasting all this time.
Honestly, this is so helpful. And I think sometimes it's because when I was growing up, I went to a uniform school, but I wore the same thing every single day. So into my adulthood, I still basically wear the same thing every single day. I mean, you see me all the time.
Yeah.
It's like the same outfit in a different color, basically, you know? And it works. It's so easy.
It totally does. I honestly started streamlining this, especially for dates, because I just go on so many of them. And I have 2 different looks that I do.
It's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. I have a jean look and then I have like a more like put together look. Easy.
The second thing we're going to do is we are all going to master a 15-minute face, okay? I know some people that waste so much time like doing an hour's worth of hair and makeup, 2 hours worth of hair and makeup before going out. And this year we're maximizing our time. We have too much stuff to do to be wasting. So yeah, 15 minutes max. That's enough.
Julie, I feel like you're like the master of the 15-minute face. How do you do it?
Honestly, in the beginning, it was a lot of practice, a lot of trial and error of what actually worked for my face. But once I started doing it and then I started practicing, things just get faster and faster and faster. And you just kind of get this signature makeup look that you can slap on really easily.
Totally. For me, what I found that helped was learning what my prominent features were and then focusing on those. And then everything else gets kind of like slapped on. For me, that has always been my brows. I spend the most amount of time there making sure they look nice and immaculate. But this also tees up really nicely with something else. This is the year that we set trends and we don't just follow them blindly. So please do not overpluck your brows. PSA, please.
No, I truly believe this. Like, I'm so tired of everybody looking the same whenever I go out. And I know that like I am bad at this because I've had the same haircut and like I just don't like to follow trends and switches up. I've had the same haircut since I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
But no, it's like, actually do what works for you. You're going to save so much time. You're going to save so much energy. So yes, what works for your face and also what works for your closet. Because we're creating that uniform.
And let's get into some grooming routines that are non-negotiable.
And again, we have 3 really easy ones for you guys to follow. And I know that you guys are smart and I know that you guys know, but you would also be surprised at what some people don't know. But the first is you have to start learning what comedogenic ingredients are. They're really easy to identify and they will totally transform your skincare as well as your makeup routine. But an easy one for you guys is always going to be coconut oil and palm oil.
But let's not demonize all oils because some oils are good. But another comedogenic ingredient, which is a fatty acid, is isopropyl palmitate.
And honestly, there are so many other ingredients. And it also does depend on, the type of product it actually is. There's going to be comedogenics in a lip balm, for example, but that doesn't really matter because it's going on your lips and not the rest of your face. But these are like the 3 biggest offenders to just keep in mind.
And 2 other grooming routines that are non-negotiable. Be a grown-up and floss every day, please. It is not cute to make out with somebody with food in their mouth. And you know what? Even if you're not making out with somebody, it is not cute to talk to somebody with food in their mouth. Just do it. And the last one is make sure you are washing your makeup brushes, your towels, your bed sheets regularly.
And I know for some of you guys, you're going to listen to this list and just be like, we already do this.
Yeah.
These are the basics, but they're not. We talk to so many people and obviously there's like never any judgment, but these are the main culprits that we notice people being victims to, right?
Totally. I mean, sometimes people think that a product is breaking them out. Then you ask them a little bit more and you're like, how often do you wash your face towel? How often do you wash your pillow sheets?
Oh my gosh, one time I knew this person and they're just like, oh, I don't need to wash my bath towel because when I get out of the shower, I'm clean. And I'm like,
No.
ugh, no. So I mean, again, most people know, but some people don't know. So.
And next up, let's talk about beauty investments that actually give you ROI, a return on your investment.
And this is a year we're going to stop using reusable makeup wipes. We're going to stop picking our zids and we are actually going to use the products that we have till the last drop, get your most money out of them. And we're going to make it simple. All you really need in any routine is just a cleanser, toner, serum, moisturizer, SPF. It's 5 simple things.
And if you really don't want it to be 5, you can cut out the toner, but keep that serum in there. And if you're 30 and you can actually afford it, this is the time to get that first big treatment. And so we're talking microneedling. Maybe you add a little PDGF for that extra boost. And also it's time to consider those laser and light treatments too.
When it comes to hair, we are going to finally learn our hair porosity and our hair type and build a routine around it. No more using products that weren't made for you.
When it comes to fragrance, this is the year you find your personal fragrance and you stop being so basic. Hailey Bieber will most likely come out with a fragrance this year. And trust me, you guys, you do not need to buy it. Unless you decide that's your signature fragrance, by all means, you do you.
I completely agree because every time I go out in like Beverly Hills or West Hollywood, I always smell the same exact fragrance on everybody and it just drives me crazy. I don't want to walk into a restaurant and feel like I'm in a Le Labo shop just sniffing another 13. And lastly, for body, this is the year we're all going to use body SPF. I know bronze and being tan is still in and still sexy, but this is a year we avoid sun damage, maybe reverse it if possible, and just get a freaking spray tan.
So all of those were the low lifts, the easy stuff. Now we're going to get into the heavier lifts, AKA how to get smarter.
So here's our guide to a financial glow up. And the very first thing everyone is going to do is you're going to set up an emergency fund. And we're going to give it to you straight. You are going to need $10,000 in this account. It's going to be for rainy days, in case you need to get a surgery, in case you're going to need to fly home for an emergency. You need this money, and we're going to be grown and be able to afford things ourselves. And we don't care how many splurges you need to pass on, how many girls' trips you're going to need to miss. You are not going to stop until you have 10K in this account, and then you can move on.
And now let's talk about your personal investments. This is the time to start investing in something more than just bags. And trust me, I have been there, so I get it. And you guys, this is my personal advice, not financial advice, but a good place to start is to invest in an index fund and to get yourself exposure to the markets. That means something like SPY, which is an ETF that tracks the S&P 500. So that is the top 500 biggest companies in the United States.
And honestly, these are really easy to do because I know Sasa is our business girl. She's our Miss MBA, but it can be really daunting to try and figure out, what company should I invest in? How do I even know what they're doing or what's coming up? This kind of just makes it easy for everybody because instead of investing in one company here or one company there, you're just kind of putting your money into the biggest 500 companies in the US.
And to make it even easier, once you have a brokerage account set up, and if you need to figure out how to do that, there are so many platforms out there nowadays that make it really, really stupid simple. But once you have that open, you just set up auto investing. So it's just like an auto transfer that you put on your bank account. It's the same thing on your investment account. So you do not have to think twice about it and make it a number that's attainable for you.
And don't be ashamed if that number is $100 or $200 a month. Honestly, something is better than nothing.
And returns compound over time. So start now. Don't start tomorrow, start now.
And speaking of investing, it's also important to invest in our relationships.
So let's start off with if you're single. You need to become the person that you want to date. And you should also define for yourself what you bring to the table. This way, you're never making a decision out of insecurity. You got this, and you should be confident about yourself.
And I kind of see this everywhere in Los Angeles. A lot of times when, I meet these women who are single and trying to find a man, they have this enormous, never-ending checklist of what they're looking for.
Yeah.
But, and they'll be like, I've been single for years. I can't get a date. I can't find a boyfriend. But when you ask them, do you check any of the things on your own checklist?
Yes.
A lot of times they say no. And so the clearest example, especially in a city like LA, is they want a rich man. But do you have your money in order, right? And it's not like you have to be a millionaire to want a millionaire, but it's are you doing things that you could also be a millionaire? Is kind of the way that you should look at it.
Honestly, that is so true. It's really all about self-awareness because the energy that you put out there is what you're going to attract back.
Absolutely. And when you do start to do those things to make you check off those boxes that you have for your dream partner, it's also going to make you hotter, smarter, more confident. It's going to give you this aura where you're able to attract those types of people in return.
Totally. Another big one for the single ladies and men out there is about setting boundaries and actually sticking to them. And what do I mean by this? Here's an example. Let's say you're seeing a guy, right? And you're really into him. He's cute. He's funny, blah, 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 blah. And let's say that you have a personal goal to get married or to have children. And you ask the guy, is that something you want? And he says, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'm still thinking about it, blah, blah, blah. You set that boundary now, hard and fast. I know you might like him. I know you think there's potential. I know you think you can change him. But here's the thing. You cannot change people. Stop wasting time, set the boundary, and be okay with walking away if you have to.
Absolutely. That always reminds me of my favorite Oprah quote, which is actually my favorite Maya Angelou quote, which is when people show you who they are, believe them.
Yes.
Right? If a guy is telling you, I don't want to get married, or, I don't want to live in a new country. I only want to stay in my little city for the rest of my life. But you want to go travel the world and live in a new place. That is what it is. That's okay.
Exactly. It's okay. But you have to be okay with walking away.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that's the harder part. Another big one for single people out there is getting out into the wild. Say yes to going out. And I know this can be hard, you guys, because we're all tired after work and weeks are long and blah, blah, blah. But if your friend texts you and says, hey, do you want to grab a drink? And it's Thursday night. And you're like, I don't know if I want to go out. Bitch, be honest with yourself. What are you actually going to do? You're going to sit home and watch TV. Go out, say yes, go and meet people. And lastly, Know just how hot you are. Because like we said before, people can feel aura. Confidence is sexy. So we got the single people relationship advice. What about if you're booed up?
Okay, so my best advice is first and foremost is finally set goals for you guys as a couple. I think it's really easy to set personal goals, but you actually have to sit down with your partner and set goals together. So whether it's how you want to save money, whether that's for a house or something like that, or how you want to spend money, if you go on a big trip, you have to start having these conversations together so you guys can actually grow and accomplish things as a couple. And then my second piece of advice, and this is something that a mentor gave me once, and it really just changed the way I approached relationships. And also, luckily, I fixed this issue with myself before I got married. But it's whenever you're fighting with your partner, just remember that you should be having the mindset that it's you are fighting for you plus your partner, not you against your partner. And I think that really changes the way that you communicate with somebody. Because if you are in a situation where you're fighting with your partner, like, or it's like you versus them, that's probably a sign that the relationship isn't going to work. But if you can start just shifting things to be like, it's us against the problem or us against the world, whatever that may be, you'll always have that kind of basis and, kind of centering point.
I love that. I think that also ties into something that I remember. This is an old adage from a mentor of mine I think about all the time, very similar to what you said, which is putting the relationship above yourself, which is really, really freaking hard to do. It's so hard, but that's the only way that you can strengthen that bond and get through really hard things.
Yeah. And I also have 3 little relationship tips because these really have done wonders for me. But first up, this one is hard, but no phones at the dinner table. And my whole take is that everyone is busy. As you said, everyone's always busy, right? But you have 20 minutes, 30 minutes to eat in peace. Everyone can always do that. So no phones at the dinner table. Second is you do not have to watch TV every night. I think that becomes a default for a lot of couples and it can be really damaging, but just like talk. Read a book or just don't watch TV. I think TV can create really negative cycles if it's like, it becomes a crutch, if that makes sense. And then lastly is to find alternative date nights because going out to dinner is obviously really fun and exciting, but there are other things that you can do to have fun with your partner. Like one of the things that we try and do, which is hard, but like we try and just go on morning walks, right? So you do have to wake up a little bit earlier, but it's like, spending that time in the morning together can be really nice because sometimes we're too busy to go on dates all the time.
That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
We've talked about personal finances, relationships, but now let's get into work, aka your career. Here is the 12-month plan to getting what you want at work.
And guess what, guys? It starts right now. It's going to start in January. But the very first thing that we're all going to do is you're going to sit down with your manager. You're going to talk about goals and you're going to specifically say, what can I do to add value? And they're going to be like, pretty vague at first, right? They're going to be like, oh, you got to show up. You got to work on this project. But you're actually going to sit down and have them quantify what those are. And after you have that conversation, you're going to have a clear idea of what needs to get done, how valuable that is actually going to be to your role and to your team. And then you are going to summarize that in an email and send it to your manager because that is going to be the framework that you need to position yourself for that goal, for that promotion, for that pay bump, whatever you want.
And also, it just shows initiative to your manager. Not everyone actually follows through on conversations. So putting pen to paper and sending like, hey, this is what I'm going to work towards to your manager, it shows chutzpah. And so when you're formatting that framework, whether it's for yourself or to your manager, you want to break these goals down into smaller bits, like we said earlier. So this is month by month and quarter by quarter goals that you can actually track and be accountable to.
And the way that you're actually going to have your manager listen and pay attention to you and know that you're doing a good job at your job is that this is a year that we're going to start actually sharing all of our work achievements with our manager. You got to brag and you got to let them know exactly how valuable you are and how you are hitting the goals that you had agreed upon.
And don't be shy about emailing your manager. Like I literally email everyone. And I did this because I learned it from my former mentor and boss, because she would email everybody in management anytime she hit like a sales goal, got a new client. It was like everyone at the firm knew. And I realized, oh, wow, if you don't sell yourself, no one else is going to sell you.
Absolutely. I literally have a Post-it note on my computer, like kind of like in the corner right here. And every time something good happens, whether we hit a goal or just something exciting happens, I write it down. And then I always share it I'll just text. I mean, I'm very close with my boss, so I'll just text her. I'll be like, did you know that this is now the number whatever selling product? Or did you know that we grew by this amount? Because sometimes they might not even realize it. Like your manager, your boss, whatever, they have a lot going on their plate. And yes, they care about you, but if you're on a team of 10, you're one of 10. So you have to advocate for yourself.
So you're going to be doing this all year long, keeping everyone posted on the goals and things that you have achieved. But come August, this is when you start positioning yourself with your manager about that pay bump, that promotion, the raise.
And after you start sprinkling that in September, you are going to make the hard ask. You're going to be a big girl or big boy and really just pull the trigger and say, this is what I want.
By October, you're going to start the negotiating process.
And come December, either it's going to be great and you're getting what you want, or it's going to be a no. And if that's the case, you got to think about what's next, whether that's leaving or pivoting. And to wrap things up, we're just going to go over our 2026 Hotter and Smarter GlowJob checklist.
So our mantra for the checklist is the number 3. 3 of everything as we go down this list.
And 3 is our angel number here and our angel number for the year because it's all about creativity, communication, and spiritual awakening.
We're manifesting. To start things off, let's do our 3 daily habits. We mentioned some of them before, but it's to get 7 hours of sleep, wash your face every night, and get ready for work every single day.
That's going to be the hardest one. And now for our weekly habits. First, we're going to wash brushes, towels, sheets once a week. Second is that you're going to call that person on the phone, maintain and manage your long distance relationships, whether that's mom, grandma, bestie. And third, we're going to write down our highlights of the week for yourself, for your manager. You got it.
3 monthly habits. Put money aside. Be a big girl and ask your boss for feedback. And 3, ask someone out. And I don't mean just dates. It could be like a new friend, anyone that you meet. Make the first move. You'll be proud of yourself. This could be coffee, going on a walk, going out to lunch. Meeting people is good for you, and try to meet someone new monthly.
And honestly, how good does it feel when you're a friend and your friend reaches out to you and let's go do something fun, right? Like, honestly, it's a gift that you're giving to somebody else. And that's the mindset you should have when you're reaching out to someone. It's like, I know how good it feels when I get us out to coffee. So I want to give that gift to you.
I love that.
You want to go out?
Yeah, always.
First is treat yourself. Have a little fun. Do something that's good for your mental or your physical health. Next, plan something fun for your besties. And third, have a little bit of time for self-reflection. Really see what is working, what is not working, and start making little pivots if necessary.
And lastly, here are the 3 non-negotiables for year end. First up, have the confidence and ask for that promotion or raise.
And hopefully all the things that you've been doing this entire year are going to give you that confidence and what you need.
Second, cut out things that do not serve you. And I'm talking about that toxic friendship, that situationship, the boyfriend or girlfriend that's dragging you down.
Bye.
Or even that job that you have been complaining about to all your friends for the last year, 2 years, maybe 5 years. It's time to cut it out.
It's time to say bye.
You've been monitoring these things all year if you've been following the GlowJob plan. So now it's time to cut those things out. And lastly, celebrate yourself. This is going to be the year of the horse. This is all about big energy, bold moves. So let's take the time to actually enjoy everything that we've done.
Yeah, I'm ready to have the best year ever. So in closing, Hotter and Smarter is a choice. It's not a personality trait. We hope that this gives you a little bit of framework to actually be able to be the best version of yourself. But we want to know what you guys want to do this year, what you're focused on, what your goals are. So please let us know in the comments.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in to this week's episode. Be sure to stay tuned next Monday for a weekly news roundup and next Thursday for another chit chat. We'll see you then.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.